Luigi Mangione just went into custody and everything absolutely changing right now. The story behind this individual is much deeper than any of us could imagine. 26-year-old Ivy League grad, self-described anti-capitalist, apprehended at the Pennsylvania McDonald's, possessed a gun, fake IDs and manifesto, searched online for the Unabomber. Cousin is an MD state delegate. This is an individual that was the smartest person in his class, and no one is surprised about the arrest. And he's also someone that disappeared into Japan for a year. His family wasn't able to catch him. They said it was after a failed injury on his back. This thing is so much deeper, and people are saying there's implications of the CIA and a possible Manchurian MK Ultra candidate. We got to get into this. This is the most interesting story I have posted this week.
Popular, kind, and highly
This individual right here, if you look at this, he doesn't look like he was too happy about this arrest, but we have to take into consideration that people are believing that he wanted to be caught for the simple fact that he's releasing a script, allegedly, to YouTube, and we're going to break into that and get to that in just a minute. But he's releasing a script every time a specific keyword hits the internet. And this has to have been planned for his arrest. It literally is a YouTube video saying, if you're seeing this, I have already been arrested. So this video is so interesting. This entire story. I'm just excited to break into this and get down to the nitty gritty.
intelligent. A former classmate of Mangione's who chose to remain anonymous said this is something they would have never seen coming.
He was so sweet and so smart. He was literally valedictorian, and I was in a similar social circle to him, but he was just like a wholesome guy.
Mangione graduated from the Gilman School for Boys in 2016. His classmates said because he was so intelligent, the intricacy in which he allegedly planned out the shooting is not surprising. They told us it, quote, made sense that he would have the capability to carry this out. Mangione was quiet, driven, played baseball, and a UPenn graduate with a computer science.
Also, I want you guys to pay attention to the way that they're selling this guy. They're trying to sell him as an appealing character because they keep highlighting how people speak about him. And they're not making it seem like he's an evil genius, but just a genius without evil. And that's dangerous because you're seeing women romanticize him. You're seeing a lot of people, men, and joke about him, saying how they want to be like him. And we have to start understanding that there's a dangerous line between a joke and reality at this point. And we got to be careful with how we joke about some things. We cannot start setting the standard for degeneracy in our country. It's only down from there, unfortunately.
Degree.
I mean, yeah, I think it's definitely motivated by wanting to make a statement and fight against something that
this is a former classmate
he doesn't believe in.
He has not been formally charged in the shooting, but officials say he will be facing gun charges. In Harrisburg, I'm Sarah Burns. Back to you.
Live in Lower Manhattan with what is next for Luigi Mangione. What are you finding out, NJ?
Well, right, Liz, we are roughly 300 miles from Altoona, where Anthony Johnson is, and we'll deliver a report in the next hour. But yes, we are outside New York City Hall, where Mayor Adams and top police officials held a press conference to brief the media on the investigation and on the arrest. Let's be clear, Liz, there is still a lot about this case, still a lot about the arrest.
It's a lot that people don't want to reveal, and the media, they're going to try to slowly feed this to everyone as they like to do, but I'm going to try to speed this up for some of you guys. So this dude, he killed the CEO of United Health. He is an Ivy League graduate and a comp sci-fi avid reader and active contributor on GitHub. He has an 130 plus IQ, but he took his mask off at a Starbucks to flirt with the individual. So one girl had got with him, and she said that his smile was nice, and we have to believe that that's what led to this dude being arrested. A 130 plus IQ. To me, that is somewhat kind of strange. He later goes on to kill the CEO of a healthcare company and ride away on a bike. A week later, go to a local McDonald's where he brings the murder weapon, the fake ID he used to check into a hotel, and a written manifesto on how horrible the American healthcare system is. He somehow get identified by the cashier as he sat down. He works on his laptop until police come into the McDonald's, sitting there with the ghost gun and suppressor he made himself. He goes to the park, ditches a backpack full of Monopoly money, but not the murder weapon. Plus, the backpack straps on the photos are completely different from the ones on the video of Thompson's killing. It's a lot of things about this whole thing that doesn't add up. And the mainstream media, they're going to slowly feed it to you. I'm here to give it to us in full speed because we got to talk about it. It's not making sense. If this individual is that damn smart, why would you take your mask off in the intentions of killing a very reputable individual that you know they're going to hunt tooth and nail to find you for, over a woman telling you that you have a cute smile? This is the thing. All these women are blushing over this individual. You go to his old Instagram comments, he had a pretty normal amount of clout. But I'll say this, if he's that attractive to all these women, if this is what's deemed attractive, then he was used to having women flirt with him, right? You'll be used to having interactions with women. If it's time to do work, it's time to do work. So it's just weird to me that he took that mask off and risked everything. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just laying down the facts.
That we do not know. Investigators, as we reported last week, were far more concerned with making the apprehension, making the arrest, than they were with trying to pinpoint a motive. They were trying to track down the killer. That was their priority. The motive as to why somebody would want to kill Brian Thompson, that was secondary, they told me, to making the arrest. Why would he want to kill Brian Thompson? Well, the killer fired 3 shots and was on the run since Wednesday. Investigators revealed today they did not have a name until Mangione was arrested this morning. But they believed all along that they would eventually arrest him, mainly because they could track his movements into and out of the city, and most importantly, as Kimberly referenced, because they had that one picture of his face, which was the linchpin in this arrest. More from the commissioner on that in a moment, but first...
That's what I was just talking about. That picture led to all of this.
The next step. So Mangione will likely be arraigned in Pennsylvania on a weapons charge, then extradited back here to New York City to face murder and other charges. NYPD Chief of Detectives Joe Kenny.
We're going to have to work that out with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He's going to be facing gun charges there, and at some point we'll work out through extradition to bring him back to New York to face charges here, working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Well, the impact of the public's role cannot be overestimated. Crime scene investigators recovered DNA. They will now use that DNA and other forensics to link Mangione to the murder. Much more on this case and the arrest as it develops coming up on Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock tonight. We're now live outside City Hall, and Jay Burkett, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
So for everyone, this individual, as they said, is supposed to be extremely smart. What we have right here is the valedictorian speech. I need you guys to pay attention to a few things. The body language, the eye movement, and his subject matter. And it's just interesting for an individual like this that also went to a college that costs $50,000 a year. And we're talking about the boys' school. We're not talking about Penn. This dude has a pretty expensive education. His education is estimated to have cost $500,000 in 4 years. That doesn't make much sense to me. It doesn't make much sense to me at all. This right here is the 119th Gilman School Founders Day ceremony. He's one of 6 children said to have intended to study AI at the University of Pennsylvania. When he graduated, the Gilman School is a $40,000 a year all-boys school in Baltimore. Mangione scared a quote from the Unabomber, Ted, I can't pronounce that, Kaczynski, before he was caught. Imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy, then gives them the drugs to take away their unhappiness. A Kaczynski quote liked by Mangione read. So this individual has been, I guess, having the seeds of being this person for a while. And we also going to have to take into consideration about that back surgery, which I'm about to get into.
Well set. Congratulations. Thank you.
Headmaster Smythe, Mr. Hubeck, members of the Board of Trustees, family, friends, faculty, and fellow students. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here to celebrate Gilman's 116th Founders Day. I'm honored to be speaking to you all today on behalf of the Gilman class of 2016. When I started writing the speech, I talked with several students and teachers and asked how they would describe the class of 2016. Many of the students characterized our class as inventive, in both imagination and initiative. At the same time, several teachers reminded me of our class's commitment to Gilman and its traditions. I came to realize that both views are correct. The class of 2016 is truly defined by its inventive, pioneering mentality that accompanies a strong commitment to Gilman tradition. Throughout its time here at Gilman, the class of 2016 has been coming up with new ideas and challenging the world around it. Our selling of Chick-fil-A during lunch, arguably the staple of our class, provides a great example. In our sophomore year, when brainstorming ways to fundraise, we didn't just settle for the usual methods of selling spirit shirts and Christmas trees. In addition to this, we did what seemed impossible given the tight schedule of the school day and began shuttling dozens of Chick-fil-A sandwiches to Gilman between assembly and lunch. Soon, we were selling over 100 Chick-fil-A sandwiches each day, in what became likely one of the most successful class fundraisers in Gilman's history. But our ability to come up with new ideas didn't start then. I've noticed it as long as I've been here, even in my very first year as a sixth grader. If any of you have ever been on Gilman's campus before school starts, you would have noticed that every morning, rain or shine, the turf is filled with middle school students playing soccer, football, and frisbee. That tradition was actually started by the class of 2016. As many of you know, Gilman Middle School offers not one, but 2 recesses per day. But for the class of 2016, that wasn't enough. So, as sixth graders, rather than sitting in the hallways waiting for school to begin, we decided we'd give ourselves an extra morning recess before the morning even started. And now, 7 years later, that morning recess remains as a regular part of every school day. Of course, this isn't anything revolutionary, but it shows that even early on, the class of 2016 was challenging the world around it. Having great ideas, however, isn't enough to innovate. The class of 2016's inventiveness also stems from its incredible courage to explore the unknown and try new things.
Now, so here I'm going to cut in. This person, if you can look at their character, he's a revolutionary. He's someone that is the antagonist. He wants to change the status quo of the way things are. And I feel like at an early age, he was showing some symbol, he was showing remnants of that, of what he was heading to become. He's definitely someone that wanted to change the way the world is. Look at the way that he changed the way his school setup was with the Chick-fil-A and a fundraiser. Very well spoken. And apparently was assumed to be one of the next great leaders, according to his former classmates. What has drove him down to this path of insanity, well described by my friend Jack Mack. He exposed how this individual right here had a back surgery. So Luigi Mangione had a back surgery. It says what keep coming back up is a back surgery that changed everything for him. And he went absolutely crazy. Checks out with his Goodreads history and the x-ray in his header. He supposedly had a back surgery, went ballistic, disappeared from his family for an entire year, and went to live in Japan. His family could not reach him. In fact, his family, first time of hearing about him since 2023 was the news reports. The only thing that we've heard from any of his family members is his sister. She made an Instagram story and she posted praying for you. She put her Instagram story on private after posting shortly after because it went viral. Haven't heard anything else from her since or the rest of the family.
Look at a few highlights from our senior year. This April, 5 seniors performed in Gilman's spring musical, The Addams Family, all of whom had no prior musical experience. 3 seniors, Jeremy Booth, Gus Meny, and Jake Goodwin, lended lead roles, while Tommy Morey and Chris Wolf helped put on the show that I doubt any of us will forget. How about this winter when Kevin Wang delivered a senior speech? As Kevin moved to America and joined our class in 9th grade, English isn't his first language. But that didn't stop him from delivering a both hilarious and thought-provoking speech about his transition to the United States. How about Ray Saunders leading Gilman's first-year cybersecurity team? Even competing against hundreds of veteran teams, the Gilman squad managed to advance to the state and then regional championships. All of these endeavors took a huge amount of courage. They demonstrate that the class of 2016 truly has the fearlessness to explore new things and the obvious ability to excel. But as inventive as the class of 2016 is, our class was able to explore the new while also preserving the old. Just look back at the most significant and magical night of our senior year, the 100th annual Gilman-McDonough football game. After hundreds of hours of preparation, our seniors led the Gilman team to victory. Competing in the second oldest football rivalry in the state of Maryland, however, they represented not just this year's team, but Gilman as an institution and all the alumni that preceded them. So the class of 2016 not only explored new frontiers, but also maintained Gilman's most important traditions. I think this combination of preservation and exploration is what Gilman is all about. Gilman maintains its classic core values by cultivating mind, body, and spirit in its students, but also champions an environment of acceptance and diversity, while excelling in its technological endeavors. This fusion is such a strong part of Gilman, it's even evident in its physical geography. Just look to the construction outside Gilman.
We'll be ending this pretty soon, this video right here, and dive into some more of the interesting content that's here, especially the last video that I'm going to be touching on. But it does tell me that this is an individual that has had the mindset similar to what he has. A lot of people that's pushing the CIA theories, we don't have anything that validates that right now. We do have questions about the MK Ultra because of the Japanese travel. People don't just disappear from their family and go to Japan. But he had a radical mindset, and he looked up to radicals. Now what's interesting, why do so coming from such a prestigious background? Is it the liberal hive mind?
We're outside. Gilman is actively rebuilding itself, but its brand new fields sit next to classic buildings like Cary Hall. Further, these new constructions, for example, Sotier Stadium, bear with them Gilman's rich history in their names. So it's no surprise that the class of 2016 picked up this ability to explore both new and old. And it's no surprise they were able to achieve all they did this year, these last few years as well. But it wasn't just Gilman as an institution that shaped our experience here. The people in our lives, especially our parents and teachers, had such huge roles as well. The parents here today, first off, sending us to Gilman was far from a small financial investment. I'd like to personally thank each of you for sending your sons here, as I can't imagine the class of 2016 without any one of these men on stage. Further, thank you for all the time and love you've put into our lives. You've instilled values in us, fed and clothed us, and simply been there for us every step of the way. I'd also like to thank every Gilman teacher and faculty member here today throughout all 3 divisions of the school. While the events and accomplishments I've mentioned in the speech were meant to highlight the imagination and courage of the class of 2016, these occurrences also drew heavily from your efforts. Our imagination draws from your inspiration, and our courage largely depends on your encouragement in the classroom, on the fields, and on the stage. So parents and faculty, thank you for all you have done for us. Today is as much an achievement for you as it is for us. As I conclude my speech, I have to remember that a valedictory, by definition, is a farewell. We seniors have been hiding from it all year, and I've even been avoiding it in my speech. But now it's time to face the truth. Our time as Gilman students has come to an end. It seems like just yesterday that we were freshmen, having tie wars and playing computer games in CT20, but now we're moving on. Just like we've done these past few years, we'll be exploring the unknown, whether that be attending colleges across the country, traveling the world during gap years, or fulfilling military service in foreign countries. As we embrace the new, however, we won't forget the old. Our friendships, values, and memories from Gilman will always stay with us. So, to the class of 2016, a kind of class that only comes around once every 50 years. It's been an incredible journey, and I simply can't imagine the last few years with any other group of guys. Thank you.
So here we are. Right here is the video that he uploaded to the YouTube allegedly, and this is saying, if you're seeing this, I'm already under arrest. How did this happen? I believe it's a script that's connected to keywords. It is, in my opinion, it's a script that when any keyword hits the news or hits the internet, it will lead to a video being released to said YouTube channel. It's under the same name as him. I truly do believe he set up a script, and it would make sense to me. So like if he says something, it gives him complete control in interrogation rooms. So let's say he revealed some type of keyword like the word red bananas. He enters the interrogation room and says red bananas, red bananas, red bananas. And let's say that it's put on the news medias that he said the word red bananas. Well, if he has a script activated on the back end to detect the word red bananas and his name being put in the same post, it could release said video to YouTube, which is how a script could work. It's a execution, so I just believe it's an execution function. He is a very intelligent individual, and I feel like these interrogations, and I do believe it's going to be linked to his keywords. That's just what I believe from my tech knowledge. That's what I see him doing. He's going to be baiting the masses, and I truly do believe more is on the way. We only are getting to the very, very beginnings of this information, mind you, everyone. This dude is also an avid reader of 295 books listed on Goodreads. Academically, he holds both a master's and bachelor degree in computer science from the University of Pennsylvania. Additionally, he gained recognition, of course, as valedictorian at the Gilmore School in Baltimore, showcasing his academic excellence. His work includes contributions to machine learning and robotics as evidenced by projects on GitHub. He's an individual that was doing it for love of the game. I can understand why people are saying that he could possibly be the CIA. But I assure you what, with some of the data that I'm hearing, I can't too much speak about YouTube yet because I get some insider information that hasn't yet reached the news. And the way YouTube works, if I release that stuff without it being confirmed by the masses, I could find myself under penalties. So give me about 48 hours and we can dive into this the right way, and I can really get into the MK Ultra, what I really want to talk about with this situation. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Click the notification bell. I hope you learned something new on this video. If you didn't, I would like you to comment if you did learn something new, but more importantly, if you didn't learn something new, so I know how to improve. I'm still working on improving this channel more and more every day if you haven't noticed. And click the notification bell to stay updated. See you guys on the next one.